Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We continue our look at Section 5 sports with a flashback to our first season on 13 Wham from May of 2013. Here's Bill Pucko.
Which brings us to McQuaid, where the Knights produced a one-of-a-kind lacrosse star this spring. If you're the school of thought that both sports and academics matter, then we have an athlete for you. He is Luc Bailey of McQuaid. Bailey was just named Player of the Year in the Greater Rochester Area Lacrosse League. He plays defense, so he doesn't put up the numbers that get him noticed. But he knows a good lacrosse player when he sees him, with or without the stats. And you must be able to spot him. I mean, what do you tell somebody? He's good. You know, he's not scoring goals, but he's good. Watch him.
Just never really gets beat. He's always good with the stick. He's able to throw some good checks, but stay under control.
Did you ever score? Do you ever get the opportunity to go up there and take a shot?
There's a couple times, every once in a while. Yeah.
Are those like the highlights for you?
No, not necessarily. Probably when you strip guys, that's probably the biggest highlight. Or if you get a yard sale, definitely.
A yard sale for the uninitiated is when a player is hit so hard he loses his stick. The equipment on the ground thus resembles a yard sale. Bailey brings more to his game than just brawn. He has brains, too. Luc is the only Monroe County player in lacrosse named an academic All-American. He carries an unweighted grade point average of 3.85.
Well, teachers really just give us a really good study habit and kind of just not to procrastinate and get our work done, especially in season. It helps a lot to make sure we're getting our homework done right after school, and the teachers and our coaches both push us a lot to get all that stuff done to keep our grades up, because for us that's the most important thing.
You know, it's quite an honor. Certainly represents the program well. The academic rigor and challenges of McQuaid Jesuit in particular, certainly merits that with the tough course load that Luc has taken over his 4 years here, and certainly represented the program and McQuaid Jesuit very well.
I've just had a bunch of good coaches over the years that have really helped me with the knowledge of the game, so that's helped a lot too.
We talk about lacrosse IQ, very high level, so much that it's really an extension of the coaching staff on the field. We've got a number of underclassmen on the team this year, and he's really been an extension of the coaching staff as a leader on the field who can, not only make the plays but can direct and educate the other players on the team. So he's been a great help to us.
In addition to becoming actively involved in local community projects, Bailey is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and spent his February break in El Salvador helping a community build an irrigation system. He'll take his considerable talents to Ohio State next year. How do you feel this close to graduation now?
Oh, it's definitely weird. McQuaid, we're already done. Already finished classes a week ago, so we're already done with classes, and definitely weird, but it's time to move on.
I can't say enough good things about him. Senior captain for us. I've been fortunate to have him on varsity with us for the last 3 years, and he's just a tremendous leader by example, on and off the field. He's the kid that you don't have to worry about. He's always making the right decisions and trying to bring his teammates along with him. First be named an All-American, and then the transcript to follow that, and certainly the character of the player that goes into this type of award as well. So it's very significant. We're proud of him, and it's a well-deserved honor for Luc. All right, make sure you're taking care of yourself, son. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep tonight. Tommy MCQ. Tommy!
Luc played 4 seasons at Ohio State, graduating in 2017 with a degree in microbiology. Luc currently lives and works in New York City. Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat continues. Welcome back, everybody, once again to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, and that means it is time for Matt Trabold to join us. Matt, thanks as always for hopping on board.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, let's talk about some soccer. Let's talk about some teams that had some great seasons. And let's start off with the HFL Boys. I saw them a few weeks ago. They are a solid team from top to bottom.
Yeah, so my first few years covering Section 5 sports, I saw HFL Boys Soccer win 3 sectional titles in a row among the A classes with players like Roth Wetzel, Parker Hotchkiss, especially Alex Batucha. This year's Coug squad achieved the #1 seed in Class A, and Class A is always packed. That's a big feat there. Two of the biggest creators on this team for the offensive side of the ball and a lot of other things are leading scorer Gunnar Wetzel and Tyler Terwilliger. A big offensive tactic for them is Terwilliger from the back having the leg to unload free kicks from HFL's defensive half or around midfield over the imposing back line entirely, and Wetzel timing his run perfectly to chug in for a goal. This group spaces wide and plays wide so well to players like David Brassey. It shows the coaching clout with this program. It's been the case there for such a long time. Brassey, when he gets those balls, then uses his dribbling skills to charge the net, and good things happen when that occurs. When defenders for this team clear big up ahead in a pinch or otherwise, it's not simply a frantic big clear to get it away with the ball going wherever. It usually finds an intended teammate up there. And we mentioned Reese Joint coming over from the football team a few weeks ago on this show. He has learned fast how the soccer game works. He has 4 goals, which is a big deal for a guy really starting out in soccer at this level for the first time for the most part.
Well, the HFL Boys having a great season, and, well, stop me if you've heard this one before, the Spencerport Girls having a great season.
No new concept here. Jamie Schneider's Spencerport Girls soccer team is again phenomenal. Junior captain Lily Brongo is second on the team in points. The right flank is hers when you watch these games. She controls it so well in every facet out there. Another junior, Alyssa Hackett, is a more vocal and confident leader this year with 1 more year of experience under her belt. That goes the same for leading scorer Karina Rattoli. Hackett uses pass and cross fakes expertly. Really, the whole team across the board uses cutbacks well. The true platoon goalie system with freshman Kate Burns and senior Kaylee DiGiaco is very interesting and effective, with both being major talents. They're real close in minutes if you look at the roster and the statistics. Played this season. When you look at that part of that roster, the Section 5 website for that sport is so good showing that. And they really frequently split up halves when you look game in and game out. Another freshman in Kendall Mesh is so fundamentally sound, going to ball rather than waiting for it to come to her feet. This team has a lot of bench strength, not just with those 2 goalies, but the midfield especially as well.
Always there, always towards the top. Now, the Rangers and the Cougar Boys both went undefeated through the regular season. A team that didn't go undefeated, but another one that is looking really solid towards the end of the season, that would be the Brighton Girls.
Yeah, so Class A and girls soccer had a whopping 3 undefeated teams this regular season, with Spencerport, Huntington Falls-Lima, and Mendon. The Brighton Barons were ever so slightly behind that trio in the standings. The top scoring threat is sophomore Maggie Cregan. I remember seeing soaring faraway goals from her as a freshman last year. She does not have just a powerful foot. She's also accurate and smart with her blasts, making her adept on corners and free kick crosses. Freshman Pani Kunpachamzi is inventive and creative with her footwork. Captain sweeper Sydney Carr is another coach on the field with her vocal soccer skills and also obviously with her performance as a player. Rita Cladstrip's squad may not have played HFL or Mendon in the regular season, but did impressively take Spencerport to overtime in the regular season finale. Another team to watch. Class A in both is going to be so packed for sectionals.
Well, it's nice to have the fact that we're even talking about sectionals. It's a good thing. So, hey, Matt, as always, a pleasure to have you joining us. We'll see you again next week.
It was a pleasure being on. Thank you for having me on.
All right, we're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later turning tragedy into triumph with Brighton Lacrosse. We'll have that story when the High School Sports Beat returns.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Making the grade this week is Bishop Kearney senior Matthew Tierney. Matt is a captain of the soccer team for the Kings and is a 4-year starter. In 2017, Matt helped lead the Kings to their first sectional title since 2010. And in 2019, Matt made the second team All-League for private parochial. In addition to his success on the field, Matt is also part of the National Honor Society with a 100% average and will graduate with credit from 10 AP courses. Outside of the classroom, Matt is part of the theater club and the house leadership program at Bishop Kearney. After graduation, Matt plans to continue playing soccer and double major in business and biochemistry. This week, Matthew Tierney is making the grade. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. Now here's Dave with the Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in our Section 5 Spotlight. Congrats to National Guard Specialist Stephen Decker for receiving an Army Achievement Medal for his performance with the 27th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. Decker is a 2015 graduate of Victor, where he wrestled for the Blue Devils. Monroe County Cross Country Division winners for girls. Rush Henrietta claimed Division 1, Churchville Chili took Division 2, Pittsford Mendon won 3, and Division 4's winner was HFL. Congrats to all the girls. And on the boys' side, Fairport won Division 1, Webster Thomas took Division 2, Mendon made it a sweep in D3, and Pittsford Sutherland claimed Division 4. Well, up next, the Lacrosse family comes together to help one of their own. We'll have that story when the High School Sports Beat continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one. Score!
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Again, we flash back to our 13-WHAM debut season for a story of a lacrosse family in Brighton that overcame a terrible tragedy. From May of 2013, here's Bill Pucko and Brian Mazurowski.
Which brings us to Brighton, where another exceptional girls lacrosse season has some added significance this year. Here's Brian.
Sometimes the true value of a team can't be found by looking at its wins and losses. By all accounts, the Brighton Girls Lacrosse team is having a great year, finishing the regular season at 13-3. The Barons head into the playoffs as the #1 ranked team in all of Section 5, and those rankings don't take into account Brighton's greatest triumph. It was in February of last year when the Brighton community lost 12-year-old Tyler Kopp after he was struck in the chest with a ball while playing lacrosse.
He was a wonderful kid. Fantastic athlete, loved to compete. Was the consummate little boy. Loved fishing, loved the outdoors, loved playing every ball sport. You can imagine, just a great kid.
The tragedy happened to a family who has always been involved in the sport of lacrosse, including Tyler's older sister, Megan, who plays for the Barons varsity team.
It's what we've always done, so I don't think it was a really good reason to stop what we were already doing. And my brother and I enjoy playing lacrosse so much and being a part of that community that we would never have to leave. We would never leave it.
The event that happened to Tyler was certainly, it was caused during a lacrosse game, but it was a random event. It was not that different than getting hit by lightning, statistically speaking. So we've never really attributed it to lacrosse. It was just a tragic event that happened during lacrosse. And again, lacrosse has been so wonderful to us. The lacrosse community has been wonderful to us. So we've been able to kind of separate that, Tyler dying from lacrosse from the game itself. Lacrosse has been always a big part of our family. I played in college. I have 3 brothers that played in college, and it's always been a kind of a fabric of our family. And she's always loved playing the game. And it was difficult because Tyler, died playing lacrosse. But Her coming out in the field is a way for her to kind of resolve those issues and get stronger. And again, the support of her teammates and the support of Coach Curtis and the Brighton community has been tremendous. It's been a tremendous help for her.
Losing a family member is not easy, but for Megan, being on a team helps.
Well, you can imagine it's been a difficult year for her, but I tell you, when you go through something like that, what really brings things together and keeps Megan going is teammates and community. This team has been just wonderful for her. Matter of fact, I can tell you a quick story. On Tyler's birthday on April 15th, Megan's team was playing down at Corning, and one of the seniors in the team gave up their starting position to Megan on that day so Megan could play. And just a great testament to the team and Coach Curtis and the community that one of the teammates steps up and gives Megan an opportunity to start in a day that was very difficult for her. So it's just it's a good story.
Well, I think our team is first of all is watches out for her. Is always cheering her on when she's in the game, when she does something positive. And that's the kind of kids we're dealing with on this team here at Brighton, and they want to make her feel good, and they want her to be happy.
Yeah, it's been really hard for her, obviously, but we like when she starts and when she plays, it's always an exciting time. And yeah, we just have fun with her.
What do you think she gets from being on this team? Is it maybe the routine or playing lacrosse that helps her out?
I think it's playing lacrosse and just having friends, and we're kind of all like a family.
I think that lacrosse is just such a huge outlet for, being on the field. It's a good way to get out my energy, and it's a good way for me to stay focused. But throughout the community, it's a great group of people. They care so much about us, and they support us so much that it's just incredible.
Sometimes the value of a team isn't determined by its wins and losses, but by what it gives back to the community. The Brighton Barons may go on to win a sectional championship this year, but their greatest success will be what they have done for one of their teammates and her family.
This season has been absolutely incredible. I think that some of these experiences I've had this year are some things that I will never ever forget. The support that you have from being on a team is just incredible, and there's nothing like being on a team of a great group of people.
1, 2, 3, Brian!
Okay, so Megan Bowen, you're...
Brian Mazurowski joins us now. Brian, I think it's laudable because it would have been real easy for the Kopp family simply to write lacrosse off and blame the sport for this tragedy, but they didn't do that to their credit, I think.
Right, and they are a lacrosse family, as we mentioned before. They are not going to let something like this, something that's, really you can blame lacrosse for the incident, but it's really just a freak accident. We were talking to Brian Kopp. He said it's kind of like being struck by lightning. You can't really blame the sport for something, and lacrosse is something that's helped this family gel back together.
Yeah, it's a good story. Thank you, Brian.
We'd like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5, and if you have a story you'd like to share with us, please let us know. Send an email to rocksportsnow@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, be safe, and we'll see you back here next week for more of the High School Sports Beat.